Classroom of the Elite Year 2 Volume 12. I am just gonna come out and say it. This was the best Year 2 volume. I shall continue to point out that fact throughout the course of the video, but first let's discuss the greatest tragedy that has happened in this volume. The Lolicon fans can't goon no more. I am sure they are listening to Smiths as they reread their collection of Sakayanagi Rule 34, and also hoping against hope that the next Year 3 volume cover is full-blown Sakayanagi only fan service so they can give it their tribute. Although before we talk fully about Sakayangi's loss, let's talk about the other biggest loser of this volume who some fans were weirdly outraged about. So first of all, the exam this time was all about the leaders. Each class had to nominate their leader, the vanguard, middle guard and general. So at the start we don't know the game, but each class has gotta nominate students for these three positions, with general being the leader. So for the first time since what feels like forever, we got Ichinose and Horikita discussing this special exam one-on-one. And Ichinose very generously offers to be the leader, with some conditions of course. And here's some weird convo that takes place which I personally don't think make much sense. So Ichinose says make me the leader, while accepting my yada yada conditions, but I am aware that I might hurt your ego in the process of taking the mantle of the so-called class leader from you. And Horikita deliberates it and says, yes, it will hurt my ego very much when you take the mantle of class leader for me, but to go on with her conditions. And I am here like, why the fuck would it hurt your ego, Horikita? That's a position that you have literally been handed down to you cause someone thinks it's too much of a hassle. In fact, while the recent volumes have given considerable character development to Horikita, she has been holding out a fake position. Like I could understand the class being upset about Horikita not being the general cause it's the common census that Horikita is a leader. But that's a census reached after falsely giving credit to Horikita for Ichinose achievement. If anything, Horikita should be having an imposter syndrome and not taking herself very literally as the class leader. But that's a very small matter that bugged me for a minute, cause Horikita did accept Ichinose wishes along with his conditions to be treated the same as Koenji and to not be bothered with any more class hassle. Which I don't know, will be pretty mute by itself if Ichinose transfers class as has been foreshadowed by the Lord, in many occasions, but who knows when that plot point is gonna come into play. So anyways, now Horikita became the middle guard and Ichinose became the general, and their ops for this special exam were Ichinose's class, and while Kanzaki had a whole mental breakdown after finding out that Ichinose is the general, Ichinose was pretty composed even though Ichinose had sorta lied implying that he won't be the general. But more importantly, the thing that caused perhaps some people to outrage was the showdown between Horikita and Ichinose. Where Horikita got straight up heads down as up dominated by Ichinose. There was no contest. The elements of this special exam relied on how well you could read people and judge what roles they have been given, like in Mafia or Killer Person Detective, which I feel like is a game only I played growing up. So Ichinose just straight up knows everybody, so she is hella accurate with her reads, and Horikita can't even begin to guess at who is who, especially since some random students are from Ichinose's class who she has no clue about. Now I saw a meme on the Reddit where they were like, oh, all this character development Horikita got only for her to end up losing so horribly to Ichinose. And all I have to say to that is, you think my girl Ichinose doesn't deserve a dub? Bro, this girl hasn't had a single dub in the entire Year 2 volume. She has been on a losing streak since before I ever even lost my all-time high streak on Duolingo. If there is anyone who deserved a dub in this volume, it was Ichinose. So I am glad that she won against Horikita, especially after she established that no matter how naive she might be, she has some strengths to her that are unbeatable. Well, almost unbeatable, cause she did then go on to suffer the most horrible of the loss against Ichinose. See, if Horikita's loss was her getting smashed by Ichinose's strap-on, Ichinose made Ichinose hit that all-time peak edge streak only to bust in the midst of a sex scene that turned out to be more gruesome and disgusting than human centipede. I mean, really, let's talk about it. Ichinose led Ichinose on, even let the readers on to think that now he is gonna make Ichinose the new fab tool. Out with the old K in with the new Ichinose. The promise of a year ago, before marriage hugging, blood was cooking something. But that something turned out TK just be the lead up to the worst kinda Ichinose beheading that, to be fair, had been foreshadowed before. So with Horikita losing to Ichinose, the game came to a one-on-one with Ichinose, and Ichinose was really being a gentleman at the start of the game. Wanted to make things fair and eliminate the most dangerous element of the game out from the get-go so that things won't be hard for Ichinose. Or at least that's what he told her, but unbeknownst to Ichinose, she played right into his hands and helped Ichinose expel Hashimoto's friends with benefits. Now I don't give a damn about the side character that Ayano Koji expelled. She was already having too much screen time in the past volume, but the crux of the matter is that although Ayano Koji orchestrated the expulsion, he made Ichinose press the button that ultimately led to a student's expulsion. That Ichinose who would do anything to protect any student, Ayano Koji made her press the button to another student's doom. And the epic reaction was priceless, cause not only that Ichinose couldn't believe that she played a part in expelling a student, but the Lord Koji himself tricked her into it. See, that's why I say this is the best year 2 volume, cause ultimately Ayano Koji is the one element that makes Classroom of the elite epic. I mean, the waifus are good, the fan service is immaculate, but you can get them all elsewhere. Like, I feel bad for Ichinose, but she ain't the most pitiful character in all of anime. Heck, she ain't even a well-written character in most of high school anime. Like, what am I supposed to do, sympathize with a chick whose biggest trauma was shoplifting? But see, now with this volume one can sympathize with her, cause she then proceeded to have her heart crushed brutally. Broke Ayano Koji made her have a whole ass mental breakdown, and then he added a cherry on top with talking about the promise they made. Like, bro was vicious. And then he proceeded to get a clean win. Blood didn't hold back at all this time. My heartless god indeed. Ichinose got her heart broken, lost the one special exam she had an advantage on, and once again led her class into doom. A doom that Kanzaki saw coming. I mean, Lord Koji made Kanzaki also have a breakdown, but just in front of Horikita merely by participating. I mean, it was kinda pathetic, but then after seeing how brutally Koji won, I don't blame him. And I don't think Lord Koji's streak of making people have a mental breakdown stops in this volume with just that. Another reason why this is the best year 2 volume. So we all fondly remember the Ryuen vs Sakayanagi fight. We all got our popcorn out and were ready to watch the show. And cutting to the chase, Ryuen couldn't compete head-on with Sakayanagi. At the end of it all, it came down to who has honed their skills to perfection. Ryuen does have the same insight as Sakayanagi, but he isn't consistent. He makes mistakes, but not Sakayanagi. Sakayanagi moves perfectly. Her critical hit rate at the end of the day is just higher than Ryuen. She is the more consistent hitter. And Ryuen surprisingly didn't come up with any extra tricks. I thought he would, cause that's what's special about him, but this time he wanted a head-on challenge. And in a head-on challenge, Sakayanagi prevailed. Almost. So here is the stage. Ryuen knows he has lost. Sakayanagi knows she has won. But both are happy that they get to have such an interesting fight. They are basking in the enjoyment of post-euphoric battle. And then the only variable that Lord Koji has planted comes into place. Ryuen quietly says that Ayano Koji has a message for you. Since Sakayanagi is such a simp, she is interested. The message is in the hands of Hashimoto. So Sakayanagi can technically win just at the moment while paying no attention to Ayano Koji's message, but she is a simp. Also, the conditions are favorable to her, so she can also expel Hashimoto the traitor and gain revenge for her only friend Thar was. It's a very tempting offer. And Ayano Koji knows it. It's like he has sent Sakayanagi a thirst trap, and Sakayanagi has gotta open that shit. So she does. She calls up Hashimoto. And then Hashimoto has a breakdown, but the good kind, almost, where Sakayanagi sympathizes a bit with him, wonder if she can reconcile with him. But then she thinks about Ayano Koji's thirst trap. She thinks hard, and then she arrives to the right conclusion about what Ayano Koji's message is about. Ayano Koji doesn't want her to win. Guys, do you know what this means? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, while Ryuen might have lost the mental battle with Sakayanagi, he won the most important of the battle. Kakeru Ryuen won the waifu war. That's right, woo woo. I knew from the very beginning Ryuen was the best waifu ever. I knew my Lord Koji doesn't move like Drake. Man didn't chose the lolicon Sakayanagi, but chose the shredded 6-foot-tall ill-tempered waifu of the decade. And what more can a loli do after it is shoved in the face that she lost the waifu battle to this masterpiece? So she backed down. In a quick turn of events, both Sakayanagi and Hashimoto had a mental breakdown, and Sakayanagi basically forfeited. And up in the room, the Ryuen who thought he was a goner became a winner. A one that I don't think he would be happy about, since he was genuinely enjoying the battle they had. So technically nobody won. Nobody except my boy Koji. See, that's why it's the best year 2 volume. You ain't gonna see this shit in some other light novel. Now, one thing I am really happy about is that the harem got smaller this time. I don't really care much for harem. Although it would hurt me when Ayano Koji dumps K, and boy is that shit gonna happen soon. Lord Koji has made plans and everything for it. And then Ichinose, I don't think she gonna recover anytime soon, and although it is too late to really count her out as a potential harem member, she should be too traumatized by Ayano Koji to consider being with them. Or maybe it becomes a huge turn on for her in year 3 volume, who knows. Sakayanagi is of course out of the picture. Rest in peace. Now the class situation is pretty straightforward. Hoitika's class is at the top. Like the class leaders of all the other class just got traumatized or expelled by the hand of Ayano Koji. Right now Horikita can just lay back and enjoy her piggyback ride to Class A. At least until Ayano Koji decided to betray her. Really looking forward to that I am. Also new visuals for the anime are out. They are releasing year 2 with of course bad animation. It's such a shame every time I have to see this. Like I would rather not get an anime adaptation if it's gonna be really junky. Like Tower of God Season 2 is the perfect example of that. Lyle such a goated webtoon, ruined cause of the lack of budget. It's just said but we can just hope for TBE best and then masturbate to whatever janky fan services they put out. To this until then.